Hello guys and welcome back. So let's go ahead and set up some basic color setup. Okay, so now we're using a grayscale. Now that's not true for leaves. We also have this color map baked from the geometry. You can see the blue and red colors. So what we do here is we can create a color to mask node and connect that to here, and we can pick a color here. Okay, so what we do is we double click there and click on this guy and go for this picker and just pick the red, and that's just gonna give us the leaves. Control C, Control V, and copy paste, right? And we just double click here. Actually double click there, click this guy and pick the blue, and that's gonna be the branches. Okay, so that's gonna be the two of the colors, two of the masks. Okay, now let's deal with the leaf. Okay, so we can do a blend to blend two colors together with this mask. So uniform color here, copy paste, connect those two things, and this guy can be the color of the leaf, right? And connect that to the base color, and the other guy can be just a background, and that can be just a greenish color somewhere. Okay, all right, so now we have a base color, but the color cannot be just this simple, right? Because leaves are growing in different stages, the edge are going to be the one that's kind of like new, right? So what we can do is make the edge a little bit brighter. Okay, so what I can do here is get a mask for the edge, and there are many ways. One thing I can do is use this guy. Okay, so I can do a blur, high quality grayscale, right? And that's going to give me a blurred version. Okay, and I can do an invert grayscale to invert it, and do another blend to multiply the original one with the blurred version and do a multiply, right? That way we got this blurry kind of like gradient, and it's brighter on the edge and darker in the middle. And how much we're blurring it will determine this gradient, so I can grab that guy and tweak the intensity, right? You can see now we can quickly get a copy of the edge. All right, and we can further tighten this up. If we wanted to, we can create a histogram scan over here, and we can change the position. I can crank up the contrast. Actually, I want a fairly smooth transition here to start with. Okay, so I can do a blend now, and that blend will use this guy as the mask, and we use maybe just the same color we're using here with a HSL to make it a bit brighter and a little bit more saturated also. Okay, and now you can see we're getting some variations on the edge. Okay, now when I look at it, I think it's probably too bright already, so let me lower it down. Okay, and this one I can change the lightness to be, oh, you know what, that's too much. Can also make it just a little bit more yellowish. Okay, all right, I think it's a little bit too dark, so I'm gonna change the position or do another histogram scan, just to actually not scan anymore this time. I need to use not HSL, histogram, actually levels, yeah, use levels to tweak it, and I can change the contrast. Maybe that one. Oh, that doesn't help too much. I guess I have to use curve, or I can, if I want it to be just rough, because I don't want it to use histogram scan to bring those middle part out. Yeah, but I could just make it a bit stronger so that you can feel that, right? At least we can feel this now. Okay, now if you want it to be just a little bit more visible on the edge, we can extract an edge really quickly, and that's gonna be, we can use the norm map here, right? The norm map, we can create a curvature map, curvature smooth, make it actually curvature sober. Okay, and this time I can make it super strong. Okay, and you can already see it's covering the edge. Right, can do a invert grayscale to invert it. Okay, and then I can do a histogram scan to isolate these edges. Okay, kind of want those edges. No, that's too much. Okay, and then that can be then blended or multiplied with this guy. Okay, that way we extract out the things that we don't want to deal with. Okay, and that can be blended to this guy. We can use add, right, to add those two things together, and that goes to here. Okay, so that way we have some of the edges or those crevices, even those are supposed to be a different color anyways, right? And here we can do some tweaking, right? So I think I can have just a bit more. Oh, I'm using add sub. I should use just add, right? That's better. Okay, that's what I need. So now I'm making those things to appear also. There appears to be also a little bit jaggedy. I think that's because of the edge. The contrast here is making aliasing problem. Okay, do we have anti-aliasing? Nah, we don't have that. So we do a little blur then. That should do that. So blur, high quality grayscale, and we just lower that blur to a minimum value here. Okay. Alright, so that way we can see now we have some more color added. Right? We have darker colors in the middle, and we have those brighter colors on the branches, smaller veins, and then the edge. Alright, let me drag things away a little bit, including the normal map. And maybe not those two, right? So I'm gonna grab these guys and then create a frame and call this guy base colors, base C color blend. All right, so now we have some base colors. Okay, so one more thing I can do just to make this look a little bit more interesting is that I kind of wanted to have the select the edge, some of the edges to have some you know, dying part, right? So what I can do is I can extract that part with, again, normal map and curvature. So I can create another curvature. This time curvature smooth, and we connect that to curvature smooth. Okay, and then we use histogram scan. Let's invert it first, because I want the offset of the curvature. Okay, and then I can do a histogram scan to scan it. Position up and contrast. You know what? Maybe I don't want it to be inverted. Let's connect this guy here. Okay, contrast all the way up, maybe. Okay, until I have those little like jaggedy edges, like that, right? So those can be the dying part or dead part, right? If I just use that right now, or at least I need to blend this guy to this guy, right? To do a, oops, not that guy, that's the blurred one, the original mask. I can do a multiply, right? And that can be used to blend two colors, right? One is our original color, Another one is a uniform color, which is kind of like a dark brown color, and connect that to there, and then we connect that to the final results. So we're adding those dyeing part. The problem again is that I kind of want them, I don't want them to be on every leaf, right? That's make it looks like it's really thick. So what I can do then is, yeah, I actually don't need that grayscale. So what I need to do then is block out some of the leaves to not have that. Okay, to do so, I need to get another, get some random color to fill into those different masks, and that's gonna be the flat fill business. So say flat fill, right? And then we do flat fill to random grayscale to give me this guy, right? You can see they have random color now, and then I can do a histogram scan, right? That way I can use that to just crank up the contrast and drag this up. You can see it's gradually making some of the leaves visible. Okay, all right, and that's gonna be what's multiplying here. Okay, so that way we're just isolating just some of the leaves to be having that. Okay, now it's just a matter of time, matter of tweaking these guys, right? So I can tweak the position to be lower, so only a few, right, of the edges are having that problem. I think they should be pretty sharp, but I can do a blur grayscale, high quality grayscale in the middle, just to blur them a little bit so they're not like super strong. Okay, all right, so now you can see some of the leaves are having that broken part. Okay, all right, now if you want it to be a little bit more interesting, we can change the blend mode to maybe a overlay. Okay, oh, doesn't work. It's changing into something weird. So we can try those different things. I can do divide, doesn't work. I think maybe just multiply, right? I can lower down the opacity. Okay, all right, and I can also change the color. Oh, you know what? I think I just like the copy. Yeah, that way I can define the color. It doesn't have to be fancy anyways. So it can be darker here. All right. So these guys I just created. Drag these guys out, and we can create another frame, and this will be dyeing color. Okay, all right, cool. So let's move on to the next video, and we can keep on going with the coloring. Okay, see you next time.